This is a classic, isn't it? Many of you, when we've been talking about Diddy, have drawn the parallel of Jeffrey's case, whereby we were skeptical that it would go up the ladder. Well, we saw the announcement of the release of the JFK, MLK, RFK files imminent. And now there is a call to release the Epstein files. I mean, that would be amazing. I mean, look at these guys on the screen here. Look at that tight little click. Do you remember when Bill Clinton, he was flying on the Lolita Express? The flight logs showed he'd been on it dozens of times. And he had left his security detail. They were not on the flight logs, but on the flight logs were numerous East European sounding females, no doubt of the age that Jeffrey Epstein favored. Yeah. So we did tons of work on this previously. I've written a book, Who Killed Epstein? Prince Andrew or Bill Clinton? And it looks like it could all get resurrected, folks, because this story that's just come out a few hours ago here in the UK says Trump is now urged to release the Jeffrey Epstein files after order to declassify everything on JFK. That's what we want. I mean, we always assume that Clinton, etc., are in the untouchable class, just like the Queen's favorite son. But it would be nice to know more about what information is being held about the Clintons and Jeffrey. Because when we dove down that rabbit hole, we found out there was a lot being left out, covered up. People getting hashtagged Clinton body count. The trails always end when anything points the fingers at them. So Trump is being urged to release the Epstein files one day after he signed the executive order divulging all files related to JFK's murder. Tennessee Republicans, Senator Marsha Blackburn and Representative Tim Burchett revealed they are pushing to have evidence on the nefarious financier unveiled. The senator has been advocating for the sealed Epstein documents to be released for years, an effort Burchett joined early on. Go, guys. Let's unseal these documents. These things just shouldn't sit there for decades while the perpetrators get so old and ancient or deceased that they can't be prosecuted because of statute of limitations, etc. Blackburn has pushed to uncover unredacted versions of Epstein's flight logs and an unredacted version of Ghislaine Maxwell's little black book full of contacts and addresses, an effort she's now seeking Trump to act on. So that's true. In the beginning, the media labeled it Epstein's black book. But he brought the money, she brought the contacts. We've had Nick Bryant on several times, who released the book to the media. Great guy. He's done a lot on the Franklin scandal. So yeah, unredacted versions. Let's get them circulating, folks, and let's resurrect all this. And she's advocating for the Trump admin's Department of Justice to release additional evidence like prison footage and communications leading up to Jeffrey's death. Oh, but the cameras all went down. The guards all fell asleep simultaneously. Never happened since the inception of that jail in the 1970s. Two guards to fall asleep at the same time. Cameras out. Cellmate out. Removed the night before. Come on now. They know we know, but they just don't care. The old school, the old guard, deep state people. Come on, Trump. Let's shine a light on these people who've tried to whack you multiple times. If anything's going to motivate you to do it, surely all of these assassination attempts are going to make you want to really expose these criminals for what they are. Quote, Jeffrey Epstein built a disgusting global beep transportation network that caused irreparable damage to countless women, she told the Mail. This is Black Man. Americans deserve to know exactly who was affiliated with this network. This is not about celebrities. This is about what happened to victims and survivors. Burchett, um, Burchett said that he too is re-upping his fight for the Epstein files now that Trump is in office and Republicans hold control. So we've got two people. We've got Tennessee Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn and Representative Tim Burchett. They are putting the pressure on for this stuff to be put out in the open. The president has been open to releasing classified documents, having just signed an executive order to release the JFK files, in addition to some on Martin Luther King Jr. So we've got several people we've been reaching out to about JFK and these assassinations. Put one in the chat if you'd like us to cover more on JFK assassination. We've even got Lee Harvey Oswald's best friend in Russia. When Oswald went out there, we're talking to him right now. And I think that's going to be a fascinating one. Got a lot of ones coming in. Thank you, guys. Is that Shane? Hey, Shane. Thanks for the one. All right. So Thursday evening, Trump signed an exec order that directs his director of national intelligence to put together a plan within 15 days for the full release of the documents about JFK. That's a big one, huh? He said as he scratched his signature on the paper. Before asking that the Sharpie be given to RFK Jr. A lot of people are waiting for this one for years, for decades. Everything will be revealed, he teased. The exec order said more than 50 years after the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the federal government has not released to the public all of its records related to those events. Their families and the American people deserve transparency and truth. It is in the national interest to find and release all records related to these assassinations without delay. Epstein's case, meanwhile, has garnered huge attention for the big name celebrities and world leaders that could be implicated. Should more light shine on the federal files on the deceased beep offender? Right, we're going to get back to that shortly. We're going to do some Diddy news. We're going to go over to Luigi as well. I mean, the developments in the Luigi story every day, I'm finding them particularly fascinating. But I've just realized I've forgotten to send Lionel the invitation. Lionel is coming on in 15 minutes. I'm just going to shoot this out to him now by email for his show. We'll probably do about an hour to 90 minutes, depending on how many questions you've got. Let me put this here. Link for tonight. Link for tonight. All right, there it goes. We just got a strike on Facebook as well, folks. Would you believe it? Facebook, who I've got 250,000 followers on, who allow 10 people to, on average, to watch my live streams, have just banned me for a month because we did a daily show today. Ron reported on this young murderer of the little girls in Southport. Like, everybody in the world is reporting on it. And Facebook, I mean, Zuckerberg, you know, he's trying to kiss ass and say that ooh, all this censorship, you know, the Biden administration has made me do it. I'm back on board now with freedom of speech. My arse, he's back on board with freedom of speech. Let's see if I can pull this garbage up that he's just sent me. That his company has just sent me. Or have they hid it again? Where has it gone? Yeah, it's... When I logged into Facebook earlier, they basically said, they gave me pages and pages on my offense. And not only did they say that I was banned for a month, they're pathetic. They said, we're going to punish you in other ways as well. You cannot change your name of your channel for a year. Ooh, boo hoo hoo. This is how childish they are. And they gave a list of ways they're going to punish me. So yeah, so that platform I've got 250,000 followers on, who I average about 10 people watching my live streams because I'm so shadow banned, because they're the most pathetic, censorious platform in the world right now. Even, YouTube's a minefield, but Facebook, they will slam you for just reporting on something. They will give you no... It's like I've got AI watching this stuff, and there's no concept of context. And you can't just say this is out of context. Reverse that. It is BS. Absolute BS. So, Lionel, when he came on last week, he said all these big tech guys were there at the inauguration, and they're going to have to sign on to this freedom of speech stuff. And if they don't, they're going to lose money, because once they allow us freedom of speech, people are going to go hog wild talking about anything. No, I've not seen anybody's comment about me, Kathy. No, but I try and hold the peace of everybody. I don't have problems with anybody. I am neutral. All right. Anyway, I've derailed here. Let me go back to what I was talking about. So yeah, so I've sent Lionel his link, and let me just double check that's been sent. Yeah, it's been sent. We've got Epstein files. They're calling on him. Let's see. All right, so the families and the American people deserve transparency and truth. It is in the national interest to finally release all records related to these assassinations without delay. Yeah, shine a light on the deep state that tried to whack you, Donald. Epstein's case, meanwhile, has garnered huge attention for all the big names associated with it. And even world leaders could be implicated in these files. That's what we want. Trump has noted that he is willing to re-examine the case. Speaking on the Lex Friedman podcast during the campaign, Trump said the Epstein story is very interesting and would certainly take a look at it. The host asked about why the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public. He was notorious for preying on kids, teenagers, underage. He was found dead in the MCC. And my book, Who Killed Epstein, starts out with the whole description of the death and how this official ruling of a suicide is just an Orwellian inversion of the truth. Bill Clinton was a regular on the Express, and he's going to be one of the ones whose reputation is going to be reduced again if it can go any lower.